With the character system, we've got a basic ground pound or jump to a pound system. If you go and click on the option for it here, you can get a enable or disable on it. And again, this is just simply if you want to enable it for your character or during the time a character gets a pickup and enables it for a while. There is a unlimited pounding and then a repeat pounding amount. Currently we're setting it to the unlimited. We'll change settings and stuff so you can see those. Also included with that, now this is for every time you pound, so you could say like 10 pounds and then the pounding is done. The unlimited combo and repeat combo is the amount of times per consecutive pounding, so you may want to be able to pound like hit, bounce up, and then finish off the combo for it. Other options inside of the general settings for it is also going to be a can pound after apex, meaning it forces you to say that it's going to pound once you reach the apex point and then go down, or you can turn it off and say you want to pound at any point. There's a delay before pounding, meaning that how long do you want to wait before you actually, once you're up in the air, do you want it to kind of like pause for a moment and then come back down? Default settings on these, I believe, is like, I think it's like a 2 and a down speed is, I want to say it was around 10 or so. We'll leave it around 18 though, just to force it down a little quicker. And then also there is a delay after pound, which is once it hits the ground, before anything else happens, before if you have bounce back up from it, it'll stay here and then bounce back up. So if you have an animation that you want playing specifically for it, then you can have that. Alright, so with these settings, let's go ahead and take a look at the just a couple more, and then we'll run through all of them individually and take a look. You have a jump pound controls, which is telling by default, I believe it's set to this, where the button is actually using the pounding. So to do the pounding, again, you can use the X button on the joystick or use the Z key on the keyboard. The idea behind it though, and you can also just do it down on the joystick, and you can do auto pound, meaning that once you've jumped once, as long as you're hitting on something that has a hurt surface to it, you could continue pounding. There is also the speed at which you move. So once you actually start on the pound state, then at the apex level you can actually move, or you could say 0 and say the player can't move once they start. So depending on how you want to go with those. And then there's also the pound bounce up, which allows you basic stuff, which is going to say how high do you want to go if you've made an official hit on an object that has health so you can hurt it, or you've hit something that has no health, which means you just kind of hit the ground itself. Do you want to actually bounce up? Alright, and we'll do this one, we'll set this to 4 and 8 just so we can see a little bit rather than having them go off screen here. Okay, so basic on this one, let's go ahead and just walk through those settings so you can see those being applied, and then we'll change them up, have some fun with them. So when the player comes over, regular jumping and everything, but when the player decides to do the ground pound, notice that if it's an official pound, so it's going to hit and it's going to go up to the 4-8 level on the jump. If we hit a surface that has no hurt ability like these, then he just does that little, I think it was like a 2-hit, a 2-1 for the height. So if anything, it's more of an indicator to let you know, yes, you did a ground pound, but also you didn't do anything that actually hit anything. So now if you notice the speed for going back up, the speed going down, all those are going to be controllable, as well as the speed that you have as you move during the jump states from the ground pound. So we'll go ahead and go back to those, and we'll do, in the next video, we'll walk through doing a setup with it to give it a little bit more extreme so you can see the difference that you can make with the ground pound and changing delay variables and things like that.